the way decisions are made is based on the preferences that you have. And that's where your emotions come in. I like that, or I don't like that. I want that, or I don't want that. And the challenge that wraps this all together is the emotions like to grab the steering wheel and drive. And they also like to jam your foot on the brake or on the accelerator, even if that's not what you want to be doing. And you need to, though, have the mind of Messiah, Philippians 2:5, control that whole emotional mess. Now, there's nothing wrong with preferences. You should have some preferences. I like something, and I don't like something. And that's okay. Everybody's allowed to have preferences. But what happens when your preference interferes with something that you should or need to do? What's the beginning framework? We didn't come from the right place. We weren't taught the right things. We were in darkness. We were disobedient. We were part of the sons of disobedience, the spirit of disobedience. We were without Elohim in the world, Ephesians chapter 2. All of those things, and then we have now been brought into a different place, which means that probably almost every aspect of our lives needs a reset. Maybe some parts less, some parts more, but almost every aspect of your life is going to need a reset. How you approach your job, how you approach your relationship if you're married, how you approach your parents, how you approach your children, okay, how you approach ministry people or even coworkers and friends. All of the things in your life, what you eat, when you eat, whether you eat, like Yom Kippur, you don't eat, right? I mean, all kinds of things are going to go into reset. You're going to go from who you are into what he is. That change doesn't naturally integrate into your system. Oh, I know you came out of Christianity and you'd love to think he's going to wave his magic wand in hand or whatever, blink at you, or do the genie thing and blink or whatever. And all of a sudden, your stony heart is going to turn to flesh and you're just going to be what? No, you're going to still be you. You've got to change into him. That doesn't happen so simply. It doesn't matter that your mindset's now different and you understand things differently. The behavior doesn't automatically follow. There's not a lot of stuff in here specifically other than Torah keeping that explains this relationship vertically, except what you learned in church or you learned from some group of how to love him. Well, the same thing with husbands and wives. Most of you understand husbands and wives from basically three places: watching your parents, watching your friends' parents, and what church people might have told. Somebody in some system might have told you, that's what a wife does, that's what a husband does. And they will have used terms that we're going to use today that you don't understand right. And I know you don't, because I know they taught it wrong, because I know what they've taught. I've seen all those videos. I've heard the pastors and preachers, because people have said to me, oh, when we first got married, my wife and I, people would send us, hey, this is a great preacher, teacher about marriage stuff. And a lot of these guys don't have any idea what they're talking about. There's no more value in a man than a woman. There's none. You are equal in value. However, structurally, to function in the walking together in agreement, it says the husband is the head of the wife. That's an authority structure. Okay, when we talked about our metaphor, I didn't realize it was going to play out so nicely into here. The emotions, kind of from the heart, driving, our feet pushing the pedals, the brakes and the gas and everything else. What's supposed to regulate and have authority over all that emotional stuff? The head. Ladies, generally speaking, you have a higher level of emotional stuff. Because a lot of you are thinking, my husband ain't anywhere near like Messiah. He's never going to get there if you don't believe in him. So ladies, do you understand that your number one job is helpmate to the husband, which means you are to help him, believe in him, encourage him, support him, even when he doesn't believe in himself. But that's hard. Oh yeah, it is. There's not a single thing about this that isn't hard. If anybody's been married for more than 5 minutes, you know this is hard. I mean, it has its moments where it's not so hard, but there's definitely hard aspects about it. And by the way, but while you're thinking about how tough it is to be married to him, think about how wonderful it might be to be married to you. And vice versa. You may be thinking, oh man, my wife, well, what about you? None of us are a great prize from that point of view. If you give advice, guidance, information to your husband, and he chooses to ignore it, do something different, whatever it is that he does, that does not mean that you are being disrespected, dishonored, and treated as if your opinion doesn't matter. He has reasons, hopefully. I mean, he definitely has reasons. It could be one of those emotional reasons. I didn't want to do it. I didn't like it. I mean, it may not be a good reason, but he has reasons, and he's allowed to. And guys, your wife is allowed to have an opinion. So let her have an opinion. But ladies, understand the difference between an opinion and then having an emotional investment in the thing that you gave your husband so that now you expect that he's going to do what you said. That's going to get you in a lot of trouble. As the assembly is subject to Messiah, so also let the wives be to their own husbands in every respect. So that means that the husband, now let's go back to the Messiah for a second. The Messiah is the Torah. What does Torah do? Blesses you and keeps you safe and helps you transform. Guess what the role of the husband is? To bless you, keep you safe, and help you transform. We're going to see that in the rest of the verses here. And our husbands are all dropping the ball like crazy here. So the husbands are all like, amen, amen. Yeah, what, are you doing your stuff? Oh, you're like what I'm saying to your wives right now. But are you actually providing? Are you blessing them? Are you keeping them safe? Do your wives feel safe, secure, provided for? But husbands will love their wives as Messiah did. Messiah loved the assembly, corrected the assembly, guided the assembly, provided the assembly with everything it could need to successfully journey into the place where they can be without spot or wrinkle or any sort. Blameless. Now, a lot of you guys out there, you abdicate all that stuff. You just let them run the house any way they want or do this any way they want because you just can't be bothered with it. I got enough on my plate. Then you should have got married. You got married, all of it came on your plate. Everything that happens in that marriage, in that house, and your children is you. That is on you. Period. Okay? You want respect? Then grab a hold of your responsibility and be responsible for everything. However, you too, every one of you, let each one love his own wife as himself, and let the wife see that she fears her husband. So what is the husband supposed to do? Love the wife. Love your wives. How do you love them? Make sure they're taken care of, provided for, and safe, and all their needs are met. That's what Messiah did for us. Messiah doesn't necessarily come to you and give you all kinds of warm fuzzies and everything else. He's making sure you have everything that you need. Now, men, you can give them a lot more than that.